Hi guys. Is this working? It's like this. Yes, it's working. Okay. Mute myself. Hi guys. Rathmore TV's decided to pay me a visit. Hey, just so you know, next Sunday, Mr. Rathmore TV, is the next painting party at the Queen's Gambit. Same bat time. 1 to what the hell time is it? 1 to 5. So I can't wait. February is looking to be a big friggin' problem, is what it comes down to. But it's not a problem because I'm going to be busy at like 3 conventions. So February's convention month apparently. I'm going to be doing Captain Con. I'm going to be there on Saturday teaching a little non-metal metallic. And what else am I doing? Oh, and running a paint hangout where for the evening session from 8 to midnight, you can bring a mini, or I will have a few. I'll have some. I'm not going to leave people hanging there. And you can try painting. Or you can bring stuff and have me give feedback or whatever. That's that's February, what the hell date is that? February 6th? I have my phone right here, which I was busy talking to my buddy Lauren on Discord because he's working on a mini. Calendar? Yeah, that would be, February 5th. February 5th is Captain Con. The week after that is my Twitch stream that I play D&D on. It's not mine. But that would be Murder Hobo Inc. They're running a convention. We run an online convention. We did it before. It was a lot of fun, so we're doing it again. And that will be the weekend of the 12th and 13th. Only those 2 days. The 12th, this stream actually will be a part of that. I'm going to be doing a little basic painting that day. So it'll be kind of a lesson with chat. And then on the weekend of the 26th, so the 24th, because Thursdays are part of this con, and it's going to be in person. Captain Con's in person too. I will be at Total Confusion, like I always am, running the paint and take, and I can't friggin' wait. That'll be so much fun. So, I know most people who watch the stream are not too local, but if you're local or if you're in the area, come visit. So basically, I put out what I'm working on here. I'm going to be starting this guy right here. This is the D4, and it's a rogue. I'm going to start going in order, but I had to do the bard first because bard. And you notice I did not put it on the base so I can see the bottom this time. That was a smart thing to do. And I'm going to finish my bard, and really all I have left to do on him is the base. So this should go quick. So I'm going to paint. Alright. Go away, Siri. So I have a button. My button on my phone is kind of being bad. But I sort of got Coke on it. It is! As I said, he's almost done. All I have left to do is the base. And actually, I probably should take him off of here. So when you do bases, you cannot clamp him in the holder because it'll start blocking out your sides. So what you do, take some blue stuff or green or blue tack or white or poster tack, whatever, and tack him on so that he's got a bit of a, if you paint your paint holder, who cares? So Laura and I were just having a chat about, so he's relatively new to the mini painting community. Is going to say, wait, if you really get into this hobby, 2 things happen. You get a closet of minis that you don't have painted. That's what this stream is for, by the way. It's to chat with you guys. Okay, that's part of it. But it's also so that I can get my own stuff from that closet of shame done. At least a few things. Because I got probably about 2,000 minis in there from all the Reaper Kickstarters. Yeah, I will admit to that. The Nativity probably is not the best to start with. The Clyde I did was actually a good one. But honestly, if it's something you're really passionate about and you love painting, there's no wrong answer. And it's not too awful. The minis are not, the Kings kind of got some detail to them, but a lot of they're not horribly detailed. They don't have a lot of like, necklaces and things like that on them. So honestly, it's not that terrible. The worst part for you is probably the eyes. And feel free to ask. There's a trick there's a trick I do. There's multiple ways that people do things, when it comes to mini painting. You also find out that too, that we all work a little differently, which is why I think people tune into a lot of different streams so we can see how we all work. Oh, it might help if I get my brushes, which are still in my bag. Well, it's not mine, but it's a commission. My commission for the Blood Raven Army, the chaplain on the bike, is almost done. Although it was pointed out to me last night because my client came by to drop off a couple things. And he's like, well, the left pauldron here needs to actually be black. I'll just get it. So this pauldron, not black. The pauldron itself is white, but the trim around it needs to be black. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But he liked the rest of it, and I'm digging the way it's coming out. I'm having a great time painting this thing. So I can't wait to finish it, because then it means I can move on to new stuff. More Blood Ravens, actually. I've got to do his Terminators, and I got to do, see if I can fix this here. And get this, so it's a little more, I want my dots to be somewhere on center. Because I'm kind of using that as a guide. All right. And of course, to say this, after this, we go to Roy, the Bald GM. Hi, Roy. He's on right now. I love him. I don't know, what are you painting today, Roy? Or Baldy. I call him Baldy. Because he's bald. And bald is beautiful, so. The gold. Let's see. Oh, the gold. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the way the gold came out, too. That's retributive armor? I have all this stuff in a bag right now. But it makes it easy to transport. It is retributor armor, which is the base coat. And then I threw a little, on some of the parts, I threw a little Auric Armor Gold on them. I've been using GW paints, of course, because it's a GW project, and it does sort of make it easier to deal with and keep things uniform. But if I do not drop it again, yay! That's right. You get that really awesome beholder. That's right. I really, really think your brush holder's coming out great. I love the fact you're also extending that brush holder by adding a whole bunch of more racks for brushes. So, alright, I need water and I need paper towel. You're always going to have a paper towel to get that liquid, that excess moisture off your brush when you, after you rinse it out. So, like I said, basically all I'm doing on this guy right now is the base. Because it's all about the base. There it is. I want my big brush. I'm debating whether or not I want to actually put some colored stones in here. I'm the queen of colored stones. So I'm just gonna basically paint it. What am I using right now? I've got the stone trio from Reaper, so this is shadowed stone. When I did the graveyard and the obsidian crypt and stuff, one thing I really did do is colored stones, because if you think about it, there's plenty of rocks that are not just gray. They can be green, they can be bluish hued, they can be pink. I love pink. Because especially in these parts, what type of granite's in there will color the stone. There's a lot of granite in my part of the world. And quartz. And heck, where I grew up, there's this place called Oak Hill, which is one of the higher points in Massachusetts. You can see Boston from there. And they have a whole side of there's a part of it that's all mica. You just go there and pick it up. It's really, really cool. All right, let me get this on there and I'll take a peek at chat and see if anybody's seeing anything. Trying to work the paint into the cracks. Work it into that crack good. See, and it applied perfectly fine. I guess this one doesn't have so much liquid in it. Oh yeah, I saw it. You know what? No, like, yes, I saw that you did the red lettering, and it. Can you tell me what color did you do the red lettering in? By the way, assuming unless you did not use Reaper color. Oh well, then tell me anyways. I have an idea on that too. That there's something on it that looks kind of like a seal. And when I've been doing the Warhammer guys, the thing I actually really like. I actually do like the contrast paints, and one of the things I really like is I like using the what color is it? I think it's Flesh Tearers Red. It's a darker red, but because of the way it shades and highlights, I actually really think I'd like that for a wax seal. And I believe on the Reaper thing, there's like, pardon me while I reach and move my brushes out of the way. Yeah, there's two swords crossing behind. There's sort of a wax seal looking thing there, with the skull on it. And I think I'm gonna do it that because it'll look really cool. I may paint the skull white. Who knows? Someday I will paint that. I've got like stuff sitting on my desk right now that all needs paint, but I like them. So I have like a Rocky the brush holder, which is a little dragon. I have Pete the Pizza Dungeon Dragon. I have the large high roller, which is one of these guys, but it's the pirate one that came with the last ReaperCon, and then of course I have the brush holder, the main brush holder that you were painting. I do want to paint it though. I do want to paint all my desk accessories at some point. All right, I do need to put a little more on here. It's not quite smooth. The reality is just you should let it dry, and it's not quite dry. Some of the parts are dry though. You can usually tell. And those are the parts I'm trying to hit with. I also think it's a little easier to see when it's dry. Because if you hit the stuff that's wet, you could lift it up. But then just let it dry and put some more down. Who is that? Oh, it's Pete. Hitting the moist button. Because it's the greatest word ever. I'm going to have somebody out there will throw things at me for saying such a thing. Yes, and Pete loves the... Oh, let's see. Used MSP Brilliant Red and Deep Red, but with a bit of white and black for highlighting shading. Oh, that makes sense. That's fine. Oh, that's, you know what? Paul, did you like know what you friggin' sent me to? Oh my god, this was from a few years ago, I think. Yeah, that's from you. I remember this whole frickin' kerfluffle. Oh Lord, that was a shame too. This was no, yeah. So when you click on the link, be warned. But Reaper has since recovered from that incident in its past. By the way, the people that work there, everyone I met, they were the nicest people. You know, I talk to Reaper John once in a while. And I love him. He's a cool guy. But, by the way, that just illustrates, too, that I am link friendly. Oh, wait, speaking of link friendly, hey, why don't I open up his actual link and we can do it on display. Oh, you're going for the wax seal look for sure on that guy. Check this out, guys. This is really cool. So if you have anything you want to display like that, that's cool. I see what you did with the shading there on the Reaper con. That's cool. Wow, that's coming out really, 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 really good. Can't wait to see how the rest of it happens. And that's probably pretty similar as to what I was thinking of doing. But I love it. Good job, Baldy. Really good. I really do like it. I gotta put a like on that thing. So see, I love links. I love seeing your work. I love seeing everybody's work. It does not matter if you've been painting for a week and it's your first piece, or if you've been painting for 20 years. I'll take it all. All right, that was a good way to kill a couple moments while this thing is drying. So I can hit it with another coat. I will admit, this paint's a really good consistency. It's not so thin that it beads off the Reaper Bones material. Yeah, be warned, Reaper Bones is somewhat hydrophobic, so that means basically if you put something that's got a lot of water in it, it will not stick real well. But I just found if I work it, I just keep working it into the thing until it sticks. I sort of beat it into submission. I knew, yeah, I was going to say, I knew that, Baldy. It was definitely about the logo, not the story. But it was really fun. It was kind of funny that was the story that came up. I don't know of any hydrophobic primer. Usually primer's made to stick paints on it. I've never heard anybody having an issue with priming them. Priming minis and then not having the paint stick to the minis. It's possible maybe you had the paint too thin, but it looked alright. So I don't know. Just because I've never heard of the problem doesn't mean it doesn't exist either. You gotta find that fine line between, you want it to be kind of like, they'll say it's milk. I don't know. I always thought like mine a little thicker, I think. By the way, whatever works for you is fine. So, you know, if you like it thicker and it works, I mean, I don't use especially on Reaper Bones, I don't use the thinnest paint as my first coat. What the hell is that? Steinfrez. Now that's something I've never heard of in 20 years. Is that a kind of primer? I just skip the step because A, I'm lazy, and B, I make it work without it, so. So good to see you on here, Rathmore TV. Oh, that's also my bag. I think for this one, I'm gonna just use shading ink. Sometimes when I'm working on a base and I just, yeah, you did, I guess, because I have no idea what it is. Whatever it is, it's a good primer. I mean, I've heard Army Painter primer. So, okay, so Reaper Bones can have issues with primer. I'm going to just, I'm just gonna say, I said I'm in team don't bother priming because I've had that issue with primer. Oh, there we go, Monument Hobbies primer. So people have said Army Painter will work on it. You know, that's what I've heard. It said there are some, I think, that has to do with what's in the aerosol. Are you okay? Are you okay, Rathmore? Oh, no. Yeah, no, I get the point. You know, funny thing is, usually I'm pretty good at typo, but don't worry about it, dude. As long as you send them in the right direction, we're good. But, okay, so the problem with priming Reaper Bones is that some primers will leave them tacky. And I'll tell you what else. I also am finding Army Painter Sealer is leaving them tacky. I had to go and buy some dull coat. Dull coat still exists. I mean, I've seen like things that is about, the dull coat's about to die, but it looks like Rust-Oleum. Yes, it has. I've seen Rust-Oleum has actually, I think it's Rust-Oleum, has bought the rights to dull coat because it's on the bottle. And so dull coat, I think, will still be around. But I had to pick up a couple of cans of it, small cans of it, and reseal a bunch of minis because they came out tacky. And I did not prime them, so it wasn't the primer, it was the sealer. So I'm just washing this with some, what the heck is it called? Melon oil. Which is, you know, I said, there's a lot of things. There's things that GW and I, we have a complicated relationship. The regular paints, but their washes, awesome. I love their washes. I love the technical paints and the contrast paints. And sometimes when I'm doing a base, I'll actually use a gray contrast paint instead because it gives that nice, you know, highlights and shadows. But in this case, I like this stone color, so I'm just going to use some of the Nelm oil. I love Reaper, but I'm sorry. I think I like GW's shades better. Sorry, Anne. But I love your paint so much better. So I gotta let that dry. This is a lot of letting things dry, and then, oh, what the hell? Okay, there's just dust or something on the top of his hat. Oh no, maybe there's, I might have to actually go back and retouch that up. Which is fine because I'm basically, right now, letting things dry, so when you let things dry, it's always a good idea to go back and see if you can touch anything needs touching up or whatever. Keeps my hands busy. Looks like there is. So I'm going to take, so the color of his hat, there was a red in there too. What red? I think it was fire red. I'm going to mix all the fire red into this. Because it's based off Scanlan's hat in the little video they did for their opening sequence. I hope I can match this color. More purple. Sorry, I'm doing it off camera. Just easier to reach. I just mix things until I think that they're going to be close, till they look close in the palette. Now granted, a lot of times they will dry a little darker, but if you're only putting a little tiny bit on, or if I'm going to go into recess like that, darker works. That may actually be part of the feather. The part I was looking at in there, that's part of the feather. I'm going to leave it. But I do have a couple little spots here that need some touching up. Okay. Well, no, wash takes a bit to dry, so I could always go on to the other guy too if I really wanted to. So, little sneak peek. So the next guy I'm doing is I'm gonna do the Rogue, and I'm basing all these. You know, it's as on brand it is. What I do is I basically I'm taking characters and such and dice I use for those characters. So this guy, it's going to be based on that die. Actually, I'll lift it up. So it's a blue and black with gold lettering D4. And it's for... I don't know if I can make this look like a girl. But basically I have had a character. I know, I love them too. I've been waiting so long to paint them. So I'm so happy I finally gave myself a chance to do it. I love them. And you know, I did Clyde, which is not a Reaper Mini, but it's the one from Maddith Productions that has been making the rounds. Because a whole bunch of us, they're like friends of him, ordered it and are painting it up. Although I put him on my shelf. He's going to be he's their leader, and I'm painting all the dice, the high rollers to go with them. I'm thinking about trying to get some cheap dice or find a bunch of sets of my old dice that I don't use anymore that are missing, like a die in the set. I'm thinking of building a base for them all to stand on, and then to stick that right by my dice trays. So they can friggin' bless my dice, because God knows it needs to be blessed. I have the worst luck these days. Alright. Come on, dry, damn it. Alright, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna try to avoid the cracks, because I don't want to sit here all day. You know, I am going to color the stone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some gray. I'm going to actually mix in, because I love a good rose-colored stone. So I'm going to put a little clear magenta in it. That's what I used for the graveyard. You notice the dice cursor in the group. If I touch people, oh yeah. No, you never touch anyone else's dice for that reason. So basically, I'm taking a little bit of that thing, I'm going to mix it in because I want like I want a lot of gray in it because it's still stone. This is kind of how I did, well, when I did the stones on in the graveyard, I would actually just dry brush the color over it, but this is going to be hard to dry brush, so I'm going to paint. Where is my crappy, there it is. Sadly, my crappy 0 brush. I'm going to sort of take a little bit of the paint off my brush, and I'm going to so it's not quite dry brushing. And we're going to do a couple. I want to keep it sparing. I don't want a ton of colored stones in this, so I'm going to leave them mostly gray. And I'm just sort of squirting a little paint on. Pete the Hydrator, if you're still here, I'm doing pink, so, you know. Just for you. So 3 is good. By the way, I know somebody who rolled, oh my god, I think it was like 15 D6s or something like that. I wasn't there for this, okay? You don't what pink? Your tag is pink, so you love pink. You should love this scale with me, because there's so much pink in it. Oh, no, it's pink. This mini's got pink in it. The lips are friggin' pink. These are definitely pinkish hued stones. It's not going to be a pure pink because that would look really weird. It's got to fit into the. It's got to fit into the context of the piece. But it is pink. Actually, it's more pinker on my end than it is on camera. I noticed. So, alright, so what I was saying is I wasn't there for this thing, but I do know somebody who they rolled like 15d6 and they literally rolled all once. At least that's what the eyewitnesses from that table. He had the worst luck out of anybody. Like, he made my luck look good. I mean, my luck has been abysmal lately. That Murder Hobo Inc. game is just evidence of. So now I'm going to add some green. Let's see what this looks like. I want a little more gray. So I'm using stone gray as my color, which is the mid-tone of that triad. Yeah, if they're playing GURPS or Call of Cthulhu, but you don't use D6s or anything like that. Use D10s. And I do like green and pink together, or purple or whatever, so I feel like I want to have a little green in there. It's just ever so slight. Maybe I do need to make it a hair darker. I am not digging that color. Sometimes I gotta try it and see if I like it. So I'm gonna add a tiny bit of like a darker green in there. And I gotta mix it up. Goggler green. Ugh. You're doing a mini campaign right now with a group with GURPS Dungeon Fantasy, and that Clyde Dice Guardian would actually be a perfect boss in it. That tracks. I don't play GURPS. I've never played GURPS. I've played Fate. I've played, of course, Pathfinder, Starfinder, D&D. I didn't really play a lot of 4. We tried it. We did try it. We gave it a chance, but we weren't thrilled with it. And then they released like a rules supplement, with changes. It's like we don't want to have to relearn every few months. We want one system, and that's it. So we kind of left it, and we went to Pathfinder. So I've got a much darker green on here. I think I'm going to like this a little better. Speaking of rinsing all the moisture out of my brush has got a lot of moisture in it. Savage, well, actually, my best friend bought, Zal there, he actually bought he did the Savage Worlds Kickstarter. Yeah, I like this better. Sure, I'll do this big, huge stone. Why not? And I'll do one of these. I like 3s. Let's see, should I do another color? Should I do another? That might be good. Just do those 2 colors. And I'm going to hit it with a little more black wash just on those stones. Just to make it fit in a little better. And give us some shadow. It's just an accent color. All right. But yeah, right now my main. I mean, I've got enough games, so I can't do more. Oh, I've done 7C. Um, 7C is alright. I like 7C, but I find it's a little complicated. Especially when trying to figure out, should I raise the difficulty of this roll? I don't know what to do here. Alright, I'm going to take a highlight color, which is weathered stone. I'm going to grab my small brush that's sitting, my small dry brush that's sitting on Rocky. And I'm going to highlight it. Yeah, maybe I'll even hit a little bit on the stones that have some accent color. So I'm really dry brushing. I think dry brushing, by the way, is a great color. Great. The texture you get left behind, I think, works well on stones. It doesn't work well on everything, but I think stones are one of the things I do like it. That scritchy sort of look. It's moving around. The one thing I find blue tack, of course, doesn't tack it down quite as well as having the thing grip the mini. If I deem it's a little, nope, there's still light on this. You always go back in with some darker colors too if you feel like it's too light. You can re-dry brush it with some darker colors, and as I said, I like the texture of it too, so. I feel like it's taking all the paint off my brush. Fine, I'll see if I can leave a little on there. Just blending it in a little. Okay. I think. What do you think, guys? I think he's finished. In all his sparkliness. I think he's a good tribute to the player, to the character. I've even got, can't really see it very well. I've even got his tights. Yeah, maybe you can't. So I can even get the tights where I put a little bit of yellow on them for kind of a pattern. Because that video, he wore a pair of tights that had a yellow pattern on it. Oh, well, thank you! Thank you, Baldy. I love you. I hope you like them. And, you know, I'm going to probably get a picture of him and put him on Twitter, and maybe I'll tag Mr. Regal. I like to attribute characters and PCs to the people that create them. So, anyways, but maybe Mr. Regal will see it and like it. Who knows? I really like him, though. And he's all sparkly. But the dye, here's the dye. So, I mean, I didn't have a dye with I didn't have purple sparkles. Although I think that probably the sparkles in this dye were not purple to begin with. It's just that they were put in the resin, and the color of the resin is purple, so it's tinting all these sparkles in as purple. So, really like that. All right. So, unfortunately, I didn't have purple sparkly paint. I just had sparkles. But they work. It's not going to be an exact match. So now I've got this guy with a purple. It's almost a purple blue. It very much goes towards the violet side of the color wheel on that blue with a lot of black. So the question is, probably the best thing to do is I want to base coat it the blue color. And hopefully I picked a good blue color. I picked a Deep Twilight, which I got in a goodie bag at ReaperCon. I basically got a bunch of paints and a baggie for getting for doubloons. You would get doubloons for all sorts of things, like taking classes, going on the tour, finding them random places, doing stupid stuff, whatever. It was a fun little side game, and then you would get kind of like going to Chuck E. Cheese's or whatever. You get prizes when you hand them in. And I mean, I actually brought my husband home a hat. I collected quite a few. I think the best was Holly Monster, who is another streamer. I haven't seen her stream in a while, but she's another streamer. She's all around great person. I met a lot of really good people at this con, and she. Oh, you know what? I gotta paint the eyes first. Sorry, don't mind me. She went in with another guy and got 10,000. I got about 2,000, I think. Or I probably got about 2,000 doubloons or thereabouts. And they had to get 10,000 because they had this ship's wheel. I tried to lift it. That thing weighs. Oh my God, it's so heavy. I'm like, no, that's not going to come home with me in an airplane. Hello, Cyanus. How are you today? I'm about to work on this. I just finished the Bard. So here he is. Here's the Scanlan-inspired Bard. Let me get my hand off of his head so you can see it. I think he came up. I'm happy with the way it came out. It'll be a nice, it'll be nice hanging out with good old Clyde the Dice Guardian. So the first thing I do, by the way, on most of my minis. Now I didn't on him because I left his eyes closed, so I didn't have to work on the eyes. There's a cheat. You can always have your minis have their eyes closed, and you don't have to paint them. But if you want to know how to paint eyes. This one's pretty good because his eyes are actually pretty large, so we can do some things with this. At the risk of the Bulgia making a big deal, I'm using the pokey stick. Because it paint clogs in these bottles very easily, but I'd still rather have the paint be good after like 10 years than dry it out after 6 months. So the first thing, and I took a course on expressive eyes and faces at ReaperCon, and I found I was doing bleach, you and your pokey stick thing. So I was using bleached linen as my eye color, because you want to use an off-white. A pure white will look weird. Okay, I mean, your whites of your eyes do not look pure white. I mean, they're shadowed. So you don't want to ever use like a pure white. Unless you want to make it weird. I mean, actually, I should never say never. You may want to make it weird. But he actually said polished bone was the color he liked. And I'm like, tried. I'm like, okay, that's good. Pokey tool is best tool. You're not wrong. I told you, pokey tool is a multi-tool too, because I like it it's great for sculpting. Of course, not only does it unclog your paint bottles, but also will unclog your super glue, as it will inevitably clog up over time. So I'm going to take some polished bone. How would I actually... I'm going to see if I could put him on a holder. Maybe I'll use my other holder. I have this one that's not a GW one. He's going to be tricky, though. And the reason why I use a holder for this is so that my hands don't get in the way of, for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to... I can rest my hand on this bar, too. Although half the time I don't do that. Too much paint. I don't care. It can go wherever. It can go outside of his eyes, you know, because I'm going to paint over that anyways, so I don't really care. It makes it a lot less stressful. Alright, I'm going to stop doing that. I may have to hit it again. And I'm going to go to the other eye. Do the same. Ah, that filled in nicely. And now I sit here and look at him. I'm going to sit here and figure out what direction his eyes need to go in. Let you use mine for sculpt. Yeah, I mean, it's great for green stuff. I actually really like using my pokey tool for green stuff, too. And if you have, like, water or petroleum jelly, you know, it won't stick to it. It doesn't tend to stick to it anyways. It's also very small, because it's such a small tip. I mean, that's small. And it's very sharp, too. Don't stab yourself with it, folks. You can absolutely draw blood. I've done it. So it's really good for actually sculpting green stuff. And you can, and for drawing, if you wanted to draw anything into it, it's really good for that because it's so sharp, it just cuts right through it without making a lot. You don't want anything dull to like carve up any sort of clay putty or whatever, because it'll just kind of, you know, if it's dull, it'll just kind of move a big chunk of it around. You want to cut through it. So I don't do a lot of sculpting, but I do understand that. It's Big Jim Slay Gaming. Hi, Big Jim. Am I gonna see? All right, so now that you're both here, am I gonna see you two next week at the painting party? Next Sunday is the painting party at the Queen's Gambit. I'm putting out the reminders now. That's true. Well, you can get, but you know what? Those pins do not have this really cool, you know, top on it that you get from Reaper. Oh, thank you so much for the bits. Oh, I hope you can make it. I do. But if you can't, you can't. Guess what? February is going to be a big freaking problem. I've got 3 conventions in February. Oh, my Lord. Well, all right. So I was saying earlier, I'm going to do Captain Con. I'll be there on Saturday, February 5th, teaching a non-metal metallic class and running a painting hangout, which basically can bring your minis for feedback or just hang out and paint like we do at the painting party for the 4 hours Saturday night, which means I'm not going to get home until stupid late because it's in friggin' Rhode Island. It's an hour and a half away. And I'll be cleaning up at midnight. And then the week after that's Murder HoboCon, which I will be, this stream actually will be dedicated to Murder HoboCon, although I'll be streaming, so you all get to see too. And it's basically I'll just do some basic painting. Why do you say? Well, as far as I know, they used to be TempleCon, and that con's been in Rhode Island forever. They actually it's a weird, interesting story with that. I don't know why they did what they did, but basically it started. Captain Con was TempleCon, and then they made Captain Con for later in the year, and it was in like Woburn, Mass. And then they switched the 2 entities. So now TempleCon is later in the year, and I think it's in Woburn, and Captain Con is now the one in Rhode Island. You know, the thing of it is, this Omicron thing just goes right through everybody. So I'm not optimistic about going down. I mean, I'm also, if I catch it, I catch it. You know, my concern is bringing it to people at work and infecting them. But the nice thing about where I work is I actually am, I'm not near anybody except for like I do have a supervisor who does come over to talk to me once in a while, but usually we stay away from each other. So, I don't interact with people too closely unless I absolutely have to, and then I try to stay back. And she's the one I really am concerned about too. So, you know what? While I have, oh no, I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna do Stardust Darker. All right. So here I'm sitting here with this. That's dry. So now I want to paint. Where's my pure black? Where's my black? There it is. So I'm going to take some black paint and I'm going to put in the pupils. Now, where do I want him looking? He is skeezy. Or it's skeezy. And it is supposed to be based loosely. It's based off, it's not Rose of the Raven. It's the Blue Shadow. That's the character. I could eventually go get the mini. I mean, keep in mind, you even come into the friggin' Queen's Gambit. I mean, we'll try, and they're requiring masks, and I think that's the thing. Masks do help. I don't care what anybody says; they help. Probably have spared me from catching it. Also, you went to ReaperCon that had 1,000 people. In a place at the time that had a worse variant and a lot more people. They're pretty terrible. I think I'm going to have him looking off to his left, my right. So usually I just throw a dot down. Oh, I do not like the way my brush is looking there. Come on, hold a point. Granted, he does... If I go over the thing once again, I'm going to paint over it. I'm just dotting some paint on there. This one you actually can draw pupils. So you want to put a couple of equally sized pupils on there. I do like that. He's looking at the bag. You know what? I am really, really... We were in a better spot, but Texas was not a great spot because, well, their government didn't take it as seriously as, like, they do around here. I don't think I have to say that. What color was Rose? Oh, God. I keep calling her Rosa. It's friggin' the Blue Shadow, which... I'm going to go with she had blue eyes. I think she did have blue eyes. So I'm going to see if I find a good blue to paint the eyes. Now I want something with a little contrast to it because you got to be able to see the eyes. You got to be able to see this. And if it's too dark, where's my blue? I have a blue in here that I think will work really nicely. Or I should go maybe even lighter. Maybe I'll take this blue and add some white to it. I kind of like this color here, which is ultramarine blue. So, I'm glad. I tell you what, I am so glad I went to ReaperCon because I don't know when I'm going to go back. I mean, I do want to go back. It probably won't be this year because I said I'm going to Disney World. But I definitely want to go back someday. Hopefully in 2 years when I get some more stuff painted that I deem competition worthy. Not saying it. Okay, let me get some blue out. I like this color, but I think it's a little strong. I want to make it blue. Blue eyes tend to be pretty light. I'm going to mix some white. And this has got paint all over the tip. I could run... Oh. I'm getting blue paint all over. I should really wipe... The nice thing about having the metal, oh yeah, T-pins, by the way, that use for crafting also work as paint pokey tools too. But I said they don't have these really cool, sculpted elements on it. I wish I could remember who actually painted. I don't know. I don't think it was Roy, but I could be wrong on who painted. Somebody painted this. I don't think it was the Ball GM, but I could be wrong on that. I know it was one of the gang that did it. And they did a good job on it too. So I'm mixing up. Oh, it was Rod. That's right. That's right. It was Rod. He painted his pokey tools. Alright, so I'm adding some white to cut that. That color's great, but not so great for us. And I want... I got too many brushes there. So, what I'm going to do... I want to make sure I leave a pupil. I'm going to paint the outside. I'm going to leave a little bit of black. It's actually easier on a smaller guy, believe it or not, because I don't have to actually... I may go back and add a little more black into the pupil. But I like that. That shows up too. And I'm just going to go around here and leave... A lot of painting too is going back and touching things up. Yes, I'm starting on the outside of the... So there's paint getting everywhere. What matters to me is what the inside looks like. Because I'm going to cover all this up. So yeah, it's a little too much blue and I want a round pupil. If I have to. I think I'm okay. I can see okay. If I really want to now, this is as far as I go on like a standard 28mm because eyes are a little bigger. So I'm going to actually add a little bit. I'm going to try to bump this up a notch in terms of the blue. I want to add a little bit of more white, or wild white, because I want this to be super light blue. Let's see if I can do this. This is nerve-wracking. I want to make sure I have a good pointy brush too. And I'm going to try to make this a little bit of a highlight. I'm holding my breath, practically holding my breath here. Need a really pointy brush because I don't want to cover all of it over. All right. I also want to add, what I've been doing lately is I've been adding, even in my 28mm guys, I've been adding a little dot of highlight color into the blacks of the pupils here. It's just a little tiny dot. Like so nervous. Okay. That'll do. I'm going to reclose that off a little bit. But I'm going to go over that anyways because, alright. Actually, because it is such a super dark, dark blue, I think I'm going to do black. Usually I pick just to do the, so basically I'm going to give him eyeliner to really accentuate the eyes. And now I'm just going to go around the outside. And once again, I don't care if I go out into the face because I'm going to paint over it. It's been a great, this is a really good piece actually to demonstrate eyes. And I'm doing a couple extra steps that I wouldn't normally do. But this is one I always do. This goes right along with the thing of, you know, like theater makeup. So you can make sure you can see every actor, see their features from the back row of the theater to the actor that's standing in the back of the stage. Same thing with a mini, because a mini is small. You want to be able to see his features, you've got to really bring it up, and contrast is a big part of this. I never really thought too much about it back in the day, but now I totally do think about it. Okay, that is that color. So now I'm going to take my blue. I'm really actually loving it. I really am happy with the way that came out. And now I'm going to go over this. And I'm going to try to leave, it's dark anyway, so. His eyes are going to stand out anyways because he's got such a dark background. And I'm covering over some of it. It might be hard to tell. But I am covering over some of that black. I'm trying to just leave just a hint of it. As I said, it's not as critical because I'm painting such a dark skin tone on this thing. And you know what? There's going to be black dots on this anyways. Now, I'm going to take that color and I'm going to start painting the rest of it with a bigger brush. It's a great face. I'm going to even go over the eyebrows. It's not quite the right color, damn it. It is a purple. I'm going to probably go over this with a blue. It's too purple from what I'm looking for. Shanur, thank you for the subscription. How are you? Alright, you know what? I'm going to add some of the blue for the eye color into this purple because I'm not happy. Maybe I'll play. Let me see if I can find another blue. I have so many blues. Maybe I'll try a little hobgoblin blue. Thankfully this is like one mini and not a whole huge thing. So I just want to let people know what you are. Oh, you're in 6 months. You are halfway there. So basically I have a thing going on that if you subscribe an entire year, you get, I will paint you something. It'll be like either something from my pile of shame with your you can tell me what you like, or it will be something that you send me. But you'll have to pay for shipping if that's the case. I can't afford to do it both ways, especially these days. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. It's Saturday. Yes, you didn't know you were working up to getting a mini from me? I'll have to figure out. Although shipping to you might be, that might not be a cheap proposition. We'll have to talk about that. Because overseas shipping. But it's a mini, and I guess if I don't send it insured, which is not as big a deal unless you send me it, then it could be a big deal. Right now I'm busy trying to make a base color that looks like my dye. And the base color I got in there is too purple. So I'm adding some blue, and I'm actually even adding some black to it because I want to keep it dark. All right, let's try this. That's better. I want to go a tiny bit lighter. I'm so happy you're all here. I'm just, oh my God, I am so happy to have people around to talk to. So honestly, is that if none of you ever subbed or anything, you talk to me while I'm painting, I'd be happy with that. But I do appreciate you guys supporting me, and that's why I want to get you a mini. It's not, I don't do it so much to incentivize you guys subbing. Or if you want to take it that way, you can. But it's just more, I feel like you should get something for your money that you throw at me. I can't do that with bits, though. I can't keep track of it like I do with bits. I'm still not sure about this color. Damn it. I mean, that is a lot better. It's a lot more blue. Oh, that's a lot better. That is more blue. That's probably a good starting point for this. So I'm going to try to have to make more of it to paint the rest of them. Oh, just as a note, in case anybody hasn't voted, actually that should be ending, I think, today. We're voting for a community paint thing, mini, which is going to be a Reaper mini. Right now we're voting what type we're going to do on Twitter. It's on my Muses_Touch Twitter account. I forget what's winning. I think Faye is winning right now. I'm just going to paint over the whole thing, including the numbers. Going to try to leave his hands. Of course, that's funny because I am basing it off a girl mini, a girl figure. Much better color, though. Oh, Shanura, I have the other one finished. Oh, let me... Thank you so much for that, Many My Faves winning, yeah. Oh my God, thank God somebody, like a couple people who didn't vote or something tuned in at the end of the first round because Faye and I think it was Construct were tied. I'm going, well, what the hell am I going to do with the tie? I want to get this done because I want to make sure I leave time for people to buy them before February. I may put extra time on it too if you know, hey, it's my challenge. I can do what I want, right? I will take it off the base due to the numbers, but I can see well enough to get a brush in there to get the base coat in. You see, I'm not being particularly neat. That's fine. You don't have to. My minis definitely have an ugly phase. As I said, this is a good starting point for a shadow color for this mini. Fair. I want to remind people too, if you get anything that you have a link for, I'm link friendly and I love to share what you're working on. Oh, Rathmore. Let me see if I can find it. I can do this off Discord. Rathmore painted a mini recently, and it's one pretty near and dear to my heart. Because I painted him a long time ago. Also, you know, Rathmore, oh, you know what? I never gave you a personal invite, but I have a Discord now. If you want to join. I got Big Jim on there. Let's see. What am I looking for? Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit's got a server too. I'm not gonna put up the thing till I find the friggin' picture mini painting, because I know you put it on there. I'm so glad they have a mini painting channel for this. Alright guys, check this out. He painted one of the ultimates here. He painted what I call fake Nodwick. But that is, I forget, Oswald the Overladen. Someone commented, it might have been you, that commented that he is indeed, he was the cosplay winner. Somebody cosplayed him at ReaperCon. And it was amazing. They even built a base for him and everything. But look at that. That is so awesome. Whoop. Here we go. There's the chicken. Oh, see, you have the chicken uncooked. At least that's what it looks like to me. He's still kind of pink. I have the actually, I made it so the chicken was cooked. I've oftentimes thought about going back to this if I ever have time and repaint. I have the Reaper Bones version of him. I've often thought about going back and repainting it to, you know, do that before and after. But I still like the old one enough that I put it, he's still in my display case. Some minis I haven't retired too much, but there's some minis I've definitely retired. But I love him. I absolutely love him. I mean, look at all this stuff. He took me, for the record, he took me 3 times longer. And so I've spent about 5-6 hours on my minis. He took me about 15 hours to paint. It said, I love the fact you use so many colors. And also the neat thing is, like, you've got, the way you've got your greens on here, they really carry your eye around that side. Whoop. I really love the way you arranged your colors. And you have the purples together. I mean, it's very cool. And also this and this. I mean, you did an excellent job of getting it so that your eye just travels all over that thing. But I love him. I love that model. But he is definitely a long project. So there's a little inspiration for everybody. As I said, I love it when people do. I went and stole this one, but I do love it when people actually go and just, you know, give me links to. And yes, I can take Discord links. Anything that I can go in and click on. Not everyone may be able to, but I can take the Discord link, click on it, and probably get back to it. Yeah, no, you friggin' rocked that out of the park. Oswald is amazing. But Oswald is amazing. Oswald said he's one of my more favorite ones I ever did. That was personal. So yeah, oh yeah, that it's let's see. I've been like my brain has been on a stream of consciousness here. I think what I'm gonna do next. Let's see, what brush do I want to use for this? Alright, so I want to use a brush. Maybe I'll use my junky one that became a junky one when I got super glue on it to try to start stippling some of these dots on there. So if you look at the die, it's got blue. It is, yeah, that actually is a good base color. It could be a little lighter, and I might do a little more blue. I moved this off, so. But if you look, it's got like black stippled onto that. It's very subtle. So I'm taking not my narrow, thinnest brush. I could get a stippling. I did make a stippling brush, but I don't think I want that. These look like bigger dots. So I'm just going to kind of randomly put some black in. Problem is, it may not be enough of a highlight. So when I go in on the blue, I'm going to go in on the blue. I'm going to stipple blue into it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten it up a little more. But I do think this is a great based color. I mean, I can see it, but I doubt any of you can. So one thing I'm going to suggest too is that I'm just going to do one side for now to see what I like. Actually, I'm doing the face. I probably should pick a side that's not so. Yeah, I can see it. That's pretty good. What I'm going to do. Oh my god, I had the paint. I have like shifted my poor thing over, so now I have no idea where my center point is. There we go, getting it. I've sort of moved it around. Alright, let's try that again. So basically, I stippled some black on there, not that you could see it. I'm going to take, and I'm going to lighten this up with a little more of that lighter blue. That's ultramarine blue. Maybe someday I'll learn how to stream right. And no, where's the original color I started with? Deep Twilight was the original color. Because I want to keep a bit of that purpley. So basically I'm taking some Deep Twilight, mixing in with the blue. I'm not trying to go... I want to keep it a little lighter so that we can actually see the difference between the black and the blue. And I do want to keep it a little bit. I want it blue, but I definitely want it to be so it's the purple side. All right. So I'm going to take this. I said, I can see where I stippled, even if you can't. I'm going to stipple this in. And if I get some of the black, so be it. I can see that better. It is really meant to be. Oh, you can see it on camera. You can see it. Now I didn't realize it. You can see it better on camera than I can see it. Yeah, a little more black. Just here and there. Yeah, it's not bad. From what I see, it's not bad to the menu, to the dye. So now I'm gonna do my other sides. I'm gonna take out some more paint too. You could try Etsy. You could just wait. I mean, it is in their store, so they will eventually have it back. I'm also am working on trying to get. I did actually finally email them. We'll see. But I did actually email them about getting an affiliate link. So now I'm gonna dot some. Now we're gonna do the other sides. I'm gonna dot some black. All over it. Hydrate! I think Pete disappeared because he hasn't been here to annoy it to hit it every 15 minutes. Well, I say, if you can. You're on my Facebook, I believe. Or under the. I mean, I've got the link to the Muses Touch mini painting too. You always look and see. You know what? Honestly, if you want to know where to take it, put in Google. So yeah, put in Google and just go, use that as a guide. Or better yet, put in donkey and just look at pictures of donkeys. I try to remember if I did that. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I haven't looked at that yet. I obviously saw the. I saw the other one you posted of the actual manger. Which is amazing because honestly, those colors look exactly like the ones I did. That lilies, that shade of brown is, and yellow for the star is like the shades I used. Oh, this is stippling a little better than the other side. I didn't even look to see what time it was. Alright, so it's about 35 minutes until we get to go visit Roy, the bald GM. This has gone real fast. You guys make this time go fast. Not that, honestly, it matters to me if it goes fast. I enjoy painting so much that I could paint for hours on end and think it goes fast. And would enjoy it. I love these guys. Dude. missed spot in his arm. Alright, I'm gonna pop him off the base. And I'm going to paint this. Now I can see it better. And if it's a little darker, that's okay, because it's underneath. I know, I'm like totally off screen here. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. All right. I know, right? Laura, do you have a game store near you? That may be a dangerous question. I would imagine there's going to be a game store there somewhere. If you have, I mean, you do not have to use Reaper colors for this or whatever. You can use any colors you want. You can even use Gasp craft paint. Just make sure you thin it a bit. Craft paint will work though. I mean, my black and white. I'm using this for this, but normally a lot of times there's still paint there. A lot of times I will use, where the hell is it? Where is my black paint? Uh-oh. I have a, well, alright, fine. I don't have the black, oh yes, there it is. Right in front of me, I can't see. Normally I use this. So, I mean, I was gonna say, yes, as much as I, trash GW, you can get GW. Viejo is pretty, Viejo I didn't like originally, but I do like them a lot more now. I think it could be the batch of paint I got. They're all expensive. Mini paint is more expensive. Even these are, how much are Reapers? I want to say they're $4 or $5. Yeah, they all are. The only difference is, like, the Reaper ones and the Viejos will tend to last longer because they're in these dropper bottles. So you don't get the air in there. But when you've got, well, I don't have any pots. Well, actually, I know where all the pots are. When you get, these in these wide pots that, if you get paint here and it gets to that you can't close it. Let me get it up on camera here. There we go. So these dry out. But the other ones, if you buy them, you'll have them for a long time. And, they're minis, so you're not using a ton of paint per mini. If you're painting an army, okay, you will go through it. But if you're painting, like, individual things like this, you can have that paint for years. Some of this Reaper paint I've had since the first batch they ever made of MSPs. Or whatever the hell they were back then. Here's a throwback to you all. This came from that era, by the way, of like when they first came out. So, there you go. That still works. I'm not exactly sure how many years MSP paints have been out, but I want to say at least 10. I know Anne was there for more than 10 years. Am I missing a paint? Alright, so. Actually, when it dries, it even shows better. So I go in and get that little spot. Alright, I'm going to go stipple the blue Whereas I probably got stipple black on my bottom, so. The biggest thing about this is being random. I don't want dot, 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 you know, dot alternating dots. I want randomness. Are you sure if it's War Machine, wouldn't it be Privateer Press, which is P3? Which also is a decent paint. The only thing that I'd say is kind of a con on Privateer Press is the fact they don't make enough colors. Is that a problem? Alright. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what you would have used. So now I'm going to stipple some black on here. I mean, it depends. If you were painting your army to a certain standard that they have, then yeah, you'd probably be using their paint. That's why I use the GW stuff. As much as I like Reaper better, but for the armies, it's better to use the GW stuff to keep them more standard. Alright, stippling on some blue, the lighter blue. Just where I like. You could probably use it. Said, hey, this brush is out there for stippling. You probably could use a stipple brush for this. But it said, I think the dots are a little small, so. Alright. There's the base color on that. He's starting to come out good. Squad is long gone. I lost the new reserve. Send that. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, I would be. I don't know what would happen if I lose my minis. Well, we'll get gold. I gotta put gold in for the numbers. Problem with Reaper golds is they do tend to be. They do not tend to cover. I usually, my gold trace these days, because mostly it's sitting out on my, it's handy to grab, is pirate gold that I got from the convention last year. Alright, I'm going to put a couple of my paints away here because, oh my god, the paints are taking over my table. I gotta remember where they all came from, too. See, I think Hobgoblin was up there. Not that it really, I guess it matters. I do like to keep things organized. Actually, you know. You mean Auric Armor Gold? Actually, you're probably right. That's more gold. More yellow. don't know how well, it doesn't, I don't think it covers real well either. If I have to, I will put some white. I'd rather not, but I could put some white in those numbers first. So I will try that. Someone pointed out there was like one color of metallics that Reaper makes that covers. Tell you what, the numbers that scare me are going to be on that D20 because they're so small. This is probably the type of thing too I should use my optivisors to actually see. These glasses are pretty good, but the optivisors are a little better. And if I really want detail, I could wear them both. Brenwyn Brass. Oh, that was it. And I think it was you. I think it was you, Big Jim, that actually pointed it out. Or one of you guys did. I know it was one of the Pyro Club. I can look at this and go, ew, this isn't great. Oh, that's not the right brush. I want my detail brush for this, not that crappy. You can definitely split. That's good. Let me throw my brush around here. I probably have Brenwyn Brass, but this color, I will admit, this color actually works really well. And it does cover. This totally makes sense for this character too. Oh, let me get my hand out there. She was all into gold. Alright, where are the other numbers? Oh, I just love when the numbers are like halfway into the friggin' legs. Nope. Did anyone else go down? Because I'll be the first to admit, I've had some issues with my internet lately. We're actually going to have to replacing the cable that goes from one side of the house to the other. Or from the other. It's a two-family house. So the cable's like, I don't know, how old's this house? Pete, you're back. I don't know if you left, but yeah, a Chanur took over. Oh God, I can't drink with this thing on. Here we go. That's a problem with the Optivisor. I can't paint. Yes, so Chanur made sure I had something to drink. Oh my god. I am not. I'm not digging this. Let's see. It's under his feet. So thankfully this is the bottom. So it's not going to be real visible. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my god, how did you do this, Ian? I think you hand painted at least one of these. I'm just gonna touch up around it because this is awful. Oh god. I think that's the one. I think this is a 2. Oh my god, I can't even tell. Well, I'm just going to kind of put stuff there. As I said, it's at the bottom, so it's not a big deal on some of these other numbers, but they end up being. Just as long as you get the indication of it. All right, that's good enough for that side. Now I can put them back in here. I think that's all I'm going to do on that side too. So you can just sit in my green stuff until I'm done with them. Haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the legs yet on this guy. $2:15. Okay, I got 15 minutes. Also, my dot is getting way high up there. I keep moving this thing around for some reason. Okay, that's better. One thing I will say I'm really digging on these is how quick they seem to work up. I'm starting to hurt. I was amazed. Which is good because I don't know if I'm going to get them all done by the end of January. And if I don't, I'll probably bring this to work on during painting parties and probably Captain Con. I think that's a lot of it. There's a lot of flat panels. There's not a ton of detail, which really does help. Oh, so unfortunately, Oh, I hate doing this, especially since I really enjoy the Bald's GM's stream. But you know what, guys? I'm still picking up from Christmas. So I have to keep picking up from Christmas after this is over. But I will stay for a couple minutes and say hi at least. I really love said. I urge you all to stay there. Stay tuned for his stream because honestly, Bald GM is just it's such a joy to listen to. And he's a good painter. I really enjoy his stuff. Said that his Reaper he's not doing that in this stream. He's gonna paint a beholder on his stream today. But yesterday he did ooh, I gotta be careful. When I flip this around, I actually try to put my hand on it, that would work. But he was painting the Reapercon brush holder. And it's coming out really good. I now want to paint my own, which I said is sitting here on my desk. Woefully unpainted, but it is holding brushes. Of course, with its pirate theme, I maybe it'll wait till September, because you know September's Pirate Month. My thing is there we go. My little cloth here is I don't know why it's going all over the place today. See if I can get the numbers finished. Because I don't have to do any numbers on the front side. I don't have to worry about them. So this is illustrating why I typically do lower parts first. Because the paint tends to get caught on the higher ends, but in this case I wanted to do it the other way. I find it's a little easier, but I'd have to touch it up. But that's okay. Okay, there's that side. Oh, by the way. Alright, well, thank you for all the bits, Baldy, and I don't remember. I think you're one of the ones who's been subbing to me, so you're also on track, or you were on track to actually get a mini out of me at the end of the year, at the end of my year. But I will see you in a few minutes on your stream. Because you're awesome. Of course, I want to point out, let's see, before I go, most of you already are on it. I do have a Discord now, because there aren't enough Discords in the world, right? So I decided that, yeah, have one for my own stream, and I can bring all my friends together from my various groups. I do gotta send out some more invites to people. I gotta try to see if Chris and Jen would be interested in joining mine. I've just been busy, that's all. I'm always busy these days. And it's just gonna get worse and worse too. But I love it. I love it. I love the fact that a lot of my business is due to my mini painting enterprise here. So, doing the streams, doing conventions, doing the painting party. I know where my legacy's gonna be. Never would have imagined this is where it was going to lead to when I picked up that mini, because I was bored on that Saturday afternoon after I got done with ceramics. And without primer or anything like that, I just painted it. Who knew? I certainly didn't know I was going to be a professional at it for sure. And I consider myself a professional. I get paid, right? This is really weird. The way that one is, it's kind of strange. I'm a little confused by the way that one came out. The sculpt of it. It's like it kind of shifts down here, but that's like the side of the wall, so I'm not really sure. I'll go back over it too. What time is it? Alright, I get 5 minutes. I get 5 minutes to try to get the last number done. I'm not happy with this one. I think there is something a little wonky with the sculpt. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry and that is a 2 that's under his arm. But we're not gonna see much of it. Because most of it.
Cheers.
Nah, let's see. You can also get me to hydrate that way too, because I'll go cheers. Don't tell Pete. Oh God, I got 4 minutes. Ah! Oh my God, how am I gonna do this in 4 minutes? But while I'll say this, all right. So this week, what am I doing this week? All right, so I'm back on Monday night at 7:30 Eastern. No. Not 7:30. I'm back on Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And Wednesday at 8:30. I'm sort of confused by these numbers. And I'm playing Murder Hobo Inc. this week on Twitch for the Craig campaign. And then I may be on between the roles because we're doing like a world building thing there. So I have to work on it. Ah, this is the full. Wait. I don't know what this is. It's not the 4. 4's over here. Actually, I think I'm just gonna put it down. It's pretty much done. I might touch up things. Take this stupid thing off for the moment. So as I said, I'm on Monday at 7, Wednesday at 8:30, all times PM in Eastern. And I'll be continuing work on this. I am going to be playing Murder Hobo Inc. on Thursday. That's M Hobo Inc. on Twitch. Also, I should probably be on Between the Rolls, which is Tuesday night. Both those are 8 o'clock. Crazy, crazy times. And that's my schedule for the week. I hope to see you guys at least on my painting streams, but feel free to come visit on my D&D streams. Let's see. Roy is up. So maybe I'll just say, let's go, Raiden. Thank you all for tuning in. I mean, I always appreciate it. Well, I was gonna say I appreciate it. You know what? I'm here painting anyways. Well, actually, I probably wouldn't, because I'd probably be picking up all my Christmas stuff. So let me hit the raid button. Let's hopefully I do this right. You all have a lovely day. And I hope I see you on Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday. And maybe next Saturday. Because of course I'll be back here Saturday. Then my schedule gets crazy. Have a great rest of the weekend. And away we go!